Welcome to the PULSEcast. I'm your host, Molk, and we are talking all things youth ministry within the life of the Uniting Church. Before we start, I'd like to acknowledge that we are recording this episode on the land of the Parramatta people of the Darug Nation. Sovereignty was never ceded. We'd like to pay our respects to their elders past and present and absolutely seek to grow better relationships with their emerging elders. Joining me today is the excellent Joyce Tungy of the Pulse team. Hello, Joyce.
Let's go. Hey,
Joyce,
Molk.
we've got a very special episode with some very wonderful guests. Would you like to introduce them, please?
Yes, I'm super keen for our episode today. We have with us the legendary people of Kids Camp Out, Mr. Gibbo and Miss Nikki. Let's go.
Great,
hey,
welcome.
guys. Hey, guys.
Excited to be here.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Well, it's glad to hear. Can I ask you guys first very quickly, Gibbo, who are you? What do you do?
So I'm Gibbo. That's not my actual name.
What?
Daniel Gibb. I know, shock.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I know. You've known me this how long and only
So
just realised
long.
that?
So what do you do?
I am the Children's Youth and Young Adults worker at Borkham Hills Uniting Church.
Fabulous. Great. Welcome. And Nikki, who are you? What do you do?
I'm Nicole Kamotu, and I go to Parramatta Mission,
Great.
Leigh Fijian, and I'm a youth member there.
Nice. So you go to school and stuff?
Yeah, year 12.
Amazing. Look at you going all over the place. Joyce, now I'm sure, given that this conversation isn't just about Nikki and Gibbo, though they are wonderful, we're glad they're here, we're here to talk about KCO. What is KCO?
Oh my gosh, Kids Camp Out. We are dedicating this episode to talk about Kids Camp Out, KCO. And it's one of the events that Pulse holds, and it's a special time, an overnight camp for those in children's and family ministry here in our New South Wales ACC Synod. And it's a great weekend. We just kind of had it a week and a half ago, and we're going to talk all things KCO today with these awesome guys.
So Kids Camp Out, KCO. That's how we get there. Awesome. So why have we dragged in Gibbo and Nicole to talk about this?
Oh, why have we dragged them? Well, I think in the midst of so many people that have come, I think these guys are going to bring some wisdom and some highlights of how Kids Camp Out was over the weekend. But also they have insight of experience prior, and now they've kind of grown in the space of Kids Camp Out. So I know they've started as campers, because we start as campers where it's categorized to ages 3 to 6.
Yes.
We even have little people come if their parents come as well. And then we have junior leaders. So we target the audience of those in year 7s and 8s, starting high school, figuring out what does it mean to be outside of primary school. And then we have our leaders that come through, whether it's church leaders, whether it's volunteers, or whether it's parents. So it's like it's a whole party. So we want everyone comes to Kids Camp Out. It's such a great fun time, and it's an absolute ball.
Yes. Great. So that's Kids Camp Out, and it sounds like an absolute blast. I know that it was. I was there.
Yes.
But I hear you've got something special just to kick us off.
I do have some in the midst of children's ministry. I think we're going to start us off with a trivia of Kids Camp Out. Because I don't know if you know this, Molk, we're going to hear more about this later. These guys have been to KCO for numbers of years. Right. So it's super exciting. So we're going to start us off to kick us off with a trivia of Kids Camp Out.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you questions. Whether you want to make your own buzzer or if you want to use your name.
Yeah, use your name,
I reckon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you questions to see how well you know Kids Camp Out with your experience.
I'll keep score, Joyce.
Thank
you,
you, Molk.
Best fingers.
All right. I mean, that's the best way to work.
Which is awesome for a visual podcast and not great for an audio podcast. But we'll keep going.
All right. So one of our favorite songs is John 3:16. I want you to sing me the next lyric. He is the way, he is the truth, he is the light.
So put your faith in Jesus Christ, and your soul will never die.
Right, Gibbo, but...
I mean, point of order, Joyce.
Sir.
Didn't buzz in.
Oh,
Did not buzz in. I was going to say.
In trivia rules, that means we get to throw to Nikki, who gets a free go at the answer.
Wait, do I just have to sing the same?
You got to sing.
But you got to buzz in first.
Okay, Nicole.
Right.
And what's the line?
I forgot where you ended.
All right,
Can you
so
sing it
I'm
again?
gonna do it. I'm gonna start again. He is
thank
the
you.
way. He is the truth. He is the light. So
Nicole.
Yes.
So put your faith in Jesus Christ, and your soul will never die.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, she's still going. Amazing.
Forever and ever.
Okay, so the score is 1, sorry, Gibbo, 1 to Nicole, 0 to Gibbo.
I mean, you're a point scorer and a referee, Mom.
I'm an adjudicator from way back.
Love it, love it. All right, second question. Now we've been using the absolute greatest place for kids camp out, Wedderburn campsite for numerous of years. Name me 2 of the famous cabins that we use.
They both have names, don't they? Joyce?
This game
they
is
both
rigged
have
because I've
names.
never been in cabins. I've always been camping.
So for those that are listening, you can either camp or tent at Kids Camp Out. There are 2 infamous cabin rooms that we use.
So the big one is called the Homestead.
Yes.
We're not talking about that one. There's these other 2 dorm blocks that are separated by the toilet block.
Yep.
They have names. Spoilers. Named after birds that are found in that region.
That's me out. I was going to say koala or kangaroo.
All right, give us that because they are A, both not birds, and B, didn't buzz in again.
Yeah.
Well, I knew it was wrong. So.
Okay.
All right, Nikki.
Oh, I have no idea. I actually have no idea.
That's
Even though
okay.
I've stayed in cabins.
You could guess
All the
any
time.
2 birds at this point, and you've got a better chance than Gibbo had.
Okay. Wait, do I have to buzz in, Nicole?
Yes,
Yes.
you do. That's the rules.
Buzz
Okay.
in.
Nicole and oh my gosh, I actually have no idea.
Oh, bam, bam.
It's one of them kookaburra.
No. What are they, Joyce?
That's a good guess.
They are the Rosella House and the Cockatoo House.
Yeah.
Oh,
Score check. Nikki 1, Gibbo still 0.
Yeah.
Hey, room for a comeback.
Yeah.
We
All
might need a
right.
tiebreaker.
All right, our next one. What was this year's theme for Kids Camp Out?
Gibbo.
Oh,
Sir,
It was Restoration Station.
we're going to give you 1 point. Yeah.
Well done. Score check. Nikki 1, Gibbo 1.
Okay, tie.
All right. So for the last question, I didn't prepare for the tiebreaker, but the next point, Molk, is 1,000 points. Goes to the winner.
Great.
Okay.
That'll
1,000
easily
points.
separate our
Okay.
1 and tie.
Yeah. All right. Name me one of the activities that we did at KCO this year.
Nicole.
Gibbo.
Oh, I give it to
done.
Nicole by just a sliver.
The building Peter. Like when we had to, the tables and they had to race, the kids had to race, and then we had to build him. That's an activity.
Judge?
Look, I will give that. It was not quite completely explaining. You explained what happened, but you didn't tell us what it is. But correct, you did have to put together a builder. It was a laminated picture of a builder guy, and Raceback, it was a relay game. Congratulations. Nikki is on 1,001 points.
Yay.
Gibbo is on 1 point. We clearly have a winner.
Very good, very good.
Well done.
Thank you. Good game.
So it looks like, Nikki, you do know more about what is Kids Camp Out. So very well. So our conversation today is all about what our experiences of KCO and why is it so important. So Mark, would you like to kick us off?
Yeah, look, I would love to hear from all of you. I'll give this as an open question. Like, what were your first impressions of it just this year's KCO? Was it fun? What was the big takeaway? What did you hear? Because you guys are both leaders in the context that you came, Nikki and Gibbo. What did you hear your little people talking about? What did they enjoy the most about KCO? Talk to me about that.
I loved it, and I know the kids loved it as well. I
Sure.
think one of the things that I enjoyed in particular was seeing the kids kind of respond to the theme. Mm-hmm. So the theme was Restoration Station, as I correctly guessed in the
Yes.
and we were talking about how God restores us, or Jesus restores. We talked about how he restored Peter after Peter denied him 3 times.
Yes.
He said, "Do you love me? Do you love me?" 3 times, restored him. Talked about how Jesus restored the official son,
Yes.
brought him back to life. And our kids in particular took that restoration from Jesus, and we took it a bit literally.
Love it.
The theme was Restoration Station, so when we had to kind of connect the theme, connected it to a train, and a train with Jesus at the wheel,
Right.
Jesus kind of
Pulling into the restoration station.
And then as you got further down the train, like as you got closer to Jesus, so the carriage closest to Jesus was all bright and all restored, and then the further you got, like the last carriage was almost on fire. Wow. It was kind of
like in a good way?
No, not really. Like it's kind of like run down, further away from Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I think it was good to see the kids kind of take on that point that, you know, the closer we get to Jesus, the more that we understand.
Yep.
Yeah.
The closer we are to that restoration.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What about you, Nikki? What was the key stuff, the first impressions for you from KCO23?
I think it was really good. I know that it was fun. All the kids loved it. They were very excited about everything. What else?
Was there anything particularly that you enjoyed as a young leader, as how we would sort of pitch you in? Like you come in as not I don't work for the church or anything. But I'm engaged in it. I love being a part of it.
I think just seeing the kids so proud and happy with what like they've done. Like I'm in the same activity that the kids did with the canvas.
Yes.
They were just really proud, like to show it off and how they understood the stories that we were that we heard.
Oh, yes, they took pride in what they drew and what they shared.
Yeah. Great. That's awesome. Thank you. Joyce, you were leading this year's KCO. And it's part of your remit within the Pulse team. Congratulations and well done. It was a resounding success.
It was amazing.
Like, I think we had 1 million young people there.
It felt like... By midday, it was 1 million. Yeah.
It felt like a lot. Now, in our conversations, even just outside the podcast, which is rare, I know, but in our conversations, you made this comment to me, and I'd love to get your thoughts as much as views from Nikki and Gibbo as well. You said that there was this feeling that there was something different in the hearts of the young people coming through this year as a part of KCO. Are you able to give me some meat on the bones about that? What does that mean?
For sure. So, in helping lead Kids Camp Out this year, I kind of just stood back and just watched as new young people came through Kids Camp Out. Yes. And it wasn't like, I feel like I've been there for like 5 years now, and the young people that I helped nurtured and supported in Kids Camp Out are gone. And it's now in a space
as in
where
they've grown up.
They've grown up and they're ready for like high school, and they're taking a step into the wider world where we see, and because of COVID, we hadn't seen anyone for like 2 years. The fresh breath of air that comes with the new leaders, new parents, new young people. And there's a new hopeness that I saw, and I felt so encouraged of wanting not only to be followers of Jesus, but wanting to be immersed in new kids, new challenges, and just a new phase of camps. Because for Kids Camp Out, it's half the time it's 40 to 50% like newbies. Yes. They've heard about it from kids club, playgroup, Sunday school, and they're like, oh, what is like, and it's the people on the ground like Nikki and Gibbo, they're like, come and join us. We're going away for Kids Camp Out. Yep. And the newness of it, Molk, it's vibrant and it's exciting, and you know that this is a first step in their formation of following Christ.
And importantly, the pool was open this year.
And the pool, it was literally so cold.
Literally.
Why is everyone still swimming?
And yet we had to shut the gate at 5:30 to kick them out.
It's a highlight. Like that's one of the things. Everyone comes to KCO for the pool.
Gibbo, it's a highlight. So we ran KCO last year, and because for those that remember, lots of rain leading up to it, though we had a fine weekend, but it meant that all of the ground around the pool compound was mushy, and they just said, look, the pool's out of bounds, you can't go in the pool. Look, all the leaders went, oh, what a shame, thanks. But all of the young people were sad, to the point where last year I ran a Lego elective, like build your story into those. What do you love about KCO? I should have not asked that, because I literally, like of the 100-odd young people that came and took part, there was like 45 pools. Yeah. I love the pool. Like, you literally live 10 minutes drive from the beach.
You know what it is? I reckon it's that pole over the top of the pool.
It is.
I remember, all very safe, but yes, there's a
many years ago when I was either a junior leader or I was just kind of starting to be like a coordinator or leader. We were on that pole, and I was sitting there just kind of like, Yeah, I think it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Just kind of going up into the middle of the pole and just like wrestling each other off.
Yep.
If it wasn't so
that's-
cold, I would have
Yeah.
sat on that pole for 3 hours and punished all of them.
Oh,
Come at me, little people.
yeah.
It's just gonna wrestle you off this thing. You're not
it's
getting
so
close.
much fun.
They do love it. I will
Yeah.
totally agree. So Nikki, for you then, was there a different feel or a different vibe to being a part of KCO this year as opposed to other years that you've been along?
I think growing up as a camper in KCO, it was a good experience to be a younger leader,
Yep.
and I was able to just see all the kids like have fun and build bonds, and like you could just really see the positive energy in the air and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, you could see it, and I think with the new people that came in, like they were always included with everything, even if other kids knew each other from other years or
Sure.
anything.
Yeah.
They included each other, and that was good.
It's such a great vibe, isn't it? Because it is
Yeah.
it is a bit free range when it comes to how we allow our young people to
Yeah.
run around KCO. So given that KCO is set for, like, we focus on grades 3 to 6 as our campers, and then high schoolers like yourself come as, we call them junior leaders. It's really about young people who are stepping into leadership and wanting to grow that leadership skill, isn't it, Nikki?
Yeah.
How many KCOs have you been to total?
I actually don't know. Probably
That many?
that many.
It's literally been that many.
No, it has, because I remember going as a little kid,
Yes.
and then
And now you've grown up as a leader
now
and
I've
come
grown up
as a
and
part of
now
that.
I'm a leader. Yeah,
So, like, worst case scenario, it's 6.
probably 6.
It was more than 6.
More
but
than 6, but yeah.
That's awesome. Why do you keep coming back?
I keep coming back because it's just so fun. It's just a good experience, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to see the young kids, how they're so excited. Like, especially with our church. I know that I travelled with one of the younger kids,
Yes.
and she just the whole way, she was just so excited. She was like, we're going camping, and all the kids are waiting for us, and she was just so excited.
So
and
good.
just to
Yeah.
see
Yeah,
that, it's like, it just gives me encouragement to go and motivation to see
Yeah.
them and stuff.
That's awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you. Gibbo, how many KCOs are you up to now? 76?
Something like that. I think I've tried to do the maths in my head. It's a bit hard. I think I'm getting close to 20.
Holy goodness.
It could even be 20.
Damn.
Wow.
That's a lot, man.
It's up there.
Yeah.
That
'Cause-
almost gets you a pin.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it.
KCO 20.
yeah.
So did you feel something
Holy.
different about it? What? First of all, why come back for nearly 20 times?
I think it's just the vibes. Like, it's just such a good vibe getting to connect not only with kids in your own church, but kids from all around the synod.
Yeah.
I think for me, the reason that I keep coming back is not just for myself and getting to see that energy, but just to see these kids grow up and get the same experience that I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I loved it as a kid. I loved it as a junior leader.
Yep.
I want to help these kids have that same experience.
Yeah.
So is there something different about KCO 23 that maybe you hadn't felt in the last few years?
I think there was, partly because it wasn't raining.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Acknowledged. And less COVID.
Yeah, less COVID. I think it was really good to see all the younger kids, like all the kids
Yeah.
kind of under school age coming with their
Yeah.
parents. We haven't really had that a lot at KCO.
And that family vibe's really
Yeah.
cool, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
parents can come and support people to help cook and
Yep.
do all of those sorts of things. And that inevitably means families come, which means little people come.
And even the little kids were getting into it. Like they were, like when we asked them questions, they were answering them and they were
Yeah.
giving
Yeah.
so much wisdom for kids that were, like 3 or 4 years old kind of.
And they bounce well when you
Yeah.
knock them over.
Yeah.
I'll edit that part. I'm not editing it. We look after them. They have a great
Yeah.
time. In the midst of that then, so here's KCO, right? We're having this great time. We're learning about Jesus. We're providing an opportunity for, I say smaller people, that primary school age people, to be with other young people who love Jesus and learn about that stuff together and get to know each other, which can be really helpful. Plus then we've got this extra capacity where, particularly on the Saturday night of KCO, we open up this time where we want to encourage our younger leaders, people like Nikki who are, maybe they're at their second or third KCO, they're a little bit more involved, or those that are in their first time, stepping into that leadership situation. and it's an intentional time away. All of our small people have ideally gone to bed. They're certainly somewhere near a
Fingers crossed.
sleeping
Yes.
bag. That's right.
Yep.
And settling in. And then it's this time for our high schoolers, really, to get
Yep.
together and share some wisdom and to learn some stuff and do those sorts of things. Nikki, why is that important? How does that help you if it does?
I think it's good. So this program that we had this year, I think it was good to see how everyone else interpreted the photos. So we had photos on the board,
Yes.
and it was cool to see how we all had different takes on it, like on how they looked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
one of the boys, there was a photo of glasses, and then in the background is blurred.
Yes.
And it was really funny because he said that Jesus was like our Specsavers.
Yep.
I think we all
Yeah.
remember
Yes,
Excellent.
I
that. And
love
it was
that. Yeah.
hilarious. But I think it's just a good experience to like connect with other junior leaders and just see stuff from their point of view or from
Yeah.
ours and just talk.
Yeah. Do you think that's valuable? Because, when we think about going back to our home church scenario, sometimes, we just don't get the chance to sit and talk with the
Yeah,
other leaders
yeah.
about how we're going or what does it mean to be a leader. What else? Like, I hear that for you, that's valuable to have that conversation. Is there a way that we can take that experience back into our churches? What does that look like, do you think? How can we encourage you as a younger leader to continue to grow as a leader in your church, is I guess what I'm getting at.
I think being able to see how other people adjust with certain situations or something, like,
Sure.
for example, like if the kids aren't listening or something, how they, like when we look at our older leaders or something, like we can look at them, and then when we come into a junior leader, like we can just see how each other, like we can relate to the kids.
Right.
Sometimes it might be harder for like the older leaders to connect.
Let's pretend that I'm older. I don't know what you're talking about. No, so what do you mean by it's harder for the kids to relate to the older leaders, but that you find it easier, or they find it easier to relate to you?
Well, because I feel like, obviously we're closer in age, so
Sure.
there'll be that. Sometimes there's that age barrier type thing,
Yeah.
and I think for them it may be that they feel more comfortable
Yep.
with us or something, and I feel like also because we're not really like the same as older leaders, so we're still learning as well as them, as well
Sure.
as the
Oh, I
kids.
love that.
No, that's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Gibbo. I'm 167.
Yeah.
So I don't understand a word that Nicole said. You're not quite as old as me,
No.
but you're engaged in a formal at your church. You're
Yep.
the youth young adult leader. You're
Yep.
involved in all of those sorts of things. What does it look like for you to be involved in this scenario? Like reflecting on Nicole as a young leader, and that
Yep.
you're wanting to grow and develop people like Nicole in your congregational context. How does that work for you? How does this connect in?
Well, I think looking also from my experience at KCO when I was part of those young leader programs.
Yeah.
I remember being part of, I think it was the first young leader program we had. That's showing my
Awesome.
age.
Yeah.
But it's an experience to get to see other young leaders, but it also gives you some skills and it gives you that chance to step up.
Yep.
Which I think is something that is really valuable. I think sometimes the experience is better than kind of learning the skills. Just being at KCO as a young leader.
Yeah.
For me, I know when we've had young leaders as part of our group, being able to give them that experience, but also just being able to step back and let them do that.
Yeah.
Just let them kind of have that experience, because I know it was very valuable for me to just be able to do it.
Do you
Action.
think, yeah, sorry to interrupt. Do you think that it's because there's a safety in the KCO experience that means that the leaders can go, I will take that step and trust not only, Nicole and her peers to lead our young people, but I know that then, go with me on this metaphor, they're not going to fall far.
Yep.
And we are real close to help them.
Yeah.
Do you think that's in part
It's
why
it's a
an
safe
easier
space. There's
situation?
also so many other leaders around. So if you step
Yeah.
back for a bit and let your young leaders take the reins,
Yeah.
there are other people that are watching the kids as well from all over the campsite.
Yeah.
Whereas, at your own church, it's kind of sometimes just you or a small group of people.
Yeah.
It's a bit harder to kind of have that leeway to step back.
Yeah, for sure. Joyce, is that by design?
Yeah, I think so. I think this junior leadership is like first steps where these young high schoolers have a taste of what leadership looks like, and it's so fascinating. Like, I'm just thinking about my own experience in these spaces where we had to, all right, so we're here to support, like, as we were told, like, you're here to support and encourage the younger people.
Yes.
And, you know, in my mind, I'm like, I'm a perfectionist. I want to draw the best picture. I want to paint the best painting. And the kid's like, I'm going to use my fingers. And I'm like, and internally, I'm like, oh, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. Like, you know, it's a thing we're going to take back to church, whatever. But then now that I'm like a grown up, like, you look back and it's just a space where, like Nikki said, it's like juniors can meet with other young people and just like be as creative as they want to be. Like, here's a space, this whole weekend is all about you and how you follow God. Your parents, your leaders, and the Pulse team is like here to love and support you and nourish you where we can.
Sure.
So it's a super... The junior leadership space, especially coming out of this year's one, everyone's tired. Everyone's feeling like kids.
Yes.
But you just sit there and you just hear the wisdom, like, right next to you. I'm like, whoa, what did you just say? Like, my eyelids are like falling asleep. I'm just like, that's God's grace in this space right now where we continue to share. So it's great to be a junior leader in the KCO. So want to promote there.
Yeah.
And that's just a subset of what KCO is, right? Like, it's an important part, but it's kind of, we're using that advantage of KCO is here and we're all having a great time, but also we want to add in this leadership capacity, opportunity, development that really provides an intentional growth mechanism. We're about discipleship. We're trying to disciple and grow these young people, and acknowledging that our young leaders step in with, you know, a growing relationship with Jesus. How can we help them grow in that by stepping into leadership that they appear to be wanting to at least test out, if not be growing into? And it's such a rare thing within the life of, I would even just say our movement within church, that we've got the safety to do that and a place where it's safe to do that and an opportunity to encourage that. I have one last question for all of you, because we've hit that point, believe it or not. Look at you chatterboxes. Wow. Why is KCO important to the life of who we are? That's a big one just to drop right at the end. Yeah. I'll make it easy for you. Joyce, we'll start with you. Why is KCO important for the life of who we are?
I mean, Jesus did say, let the children come to me.
Apparently.
And and
once or twice.
Kids Camp Out is the best place, an overnight camp where children, it's all about the children. It's a priority that children's ministry and families flourish that weekend.
Yes.
It's a space where we're not going to do no long sermons. We're not going to do the church sandwich, hymns, all of that.
Yep.
It's a space where young people can grow, can laugh, can share, can have fun, connect with wider networks, and just really deep dive into activities where Jesus is showing us key love, key moments, key hope that we take. And it's just a great space for children to grow in. So I know that after 1 year, they're already ready for the next one. I'm just like, see you next year. See you next year. But no, it's a great space to grow.
Do we have any hint on when KCO24 is coming, Joyce?
We're looking at March, first week of March.
First weekend of March?
First weekend of March.
Great. So lock it in your calendars,
just hot enough for the pool.
I'll get my phone out now.
Yeah.
Just hot enough for the pool.
Yes.
You might see me pushing small people off poles.
There we go.
Right? And also still it means that the nights are a bit brisk but nothing bad.
Yep.
We will continue to pray for fine weather. But excellent. So mark it in your calendars, the first weekend in March. More details to come. But that's going to be great. Look
Love it.
This is why you listen to the PULSEcast, friends, because you find this stuff out before anybody else.
Hot news.
Red hot, the latest. Now, the best part about me continuing this question for both you, Gibbo, and you, Nikki, is that look, Joyce has been a part of KCO and has led KCO for the past few years. Gibbo, you're a practitioner, you're engaged in ministry, and Nikki, you've grown up in it as well. Why is KCO important, Gibbo? Why should we keep doing it?
Yeah.
I think for me, the one thing I love about KCO is that it brings everyone together from all different churches. If I can give a quick story, I remember...
I'm sorry, we're out of time.
Many years ago, I was invited to KCO. Well, I was at KCO. I was invited to come and do some magic.
Great.
The theme was God's mystery.
This is
I'm
running
a bit of an
out.
amateur magician.
I used to love you, Gibbo.
Anyway, what happened is I got through a few tricks. They were pretty dreadful, but they were kind of like, the stuff you learn as a kid.
Yeah.
And my final trick, I decided I'd make myself disappear.
Great.
Wow.
So I told the kids, close your eyes, count to 10. I ran out the door. Now, the best part was
Amazing.
there was one or two kids that didn't listen to me. They kept their eyes open. They saw me run out the door. Next minute, I hear, after the countdown happens, I hear some of them yell, "He's out there." I get swarmed by like 100 kids all together,
Amazing.
swarming me around the corner. But that just highlights what KCO is about. So bringing everyone together, bringing them. You have your own church communities, but sometimes you don't get to experience a lot of what God is doing. It just helps when you have everyone together in one place.
Gibbo, that's brilliant. Thank you, Nikki.
So good.
Yeah, so good. What about you? Why is KCO important?
I think it's important because it's a great place where the kids are able to build bonds and relationships with each other. And I think it just makes them more keen to come back and stuff. And I also think it's really important because, the little kids are the future of the church. They are going to, they're the ones that are going to grow up and be the elders of the church.
Yes.
So I think it's a good place where they can start their journey and where they can grow.
Yeah. Do you think that you would be, and I appreciate this is a difficult hypothetical, you would be in the same place in your faith journey, in your relationship with Jesus, if you'd never been to KCO?
Well, that's a hard question. I think that KCO has helped me grow in my faith.
Yep.
And just to see what I've been able to teach the little kids, or they've been able to teach me and stuff, because they have different views, or they see stuff differently to how I see it. And then if they are able to share what they see, and then I can be like, oh, and I can just not switch, but widen how my take on stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
So
look, an extra 1,000 points to you. And your
Thank you.
It was a hard question right at the end. I apologise.
No, it's
but
okay.
I think you smashed it. I mean, it's hearing this conversation really enthuses me because it speaks directly to, as an outcome of your lived experiences, all three of you. I mean, I didn't grow up in the KCO movement or mechanism. It really only appeared for me stepping in, working for Pulse, and yet seeing just the incredible effort that is put in by all of the people involved, not just the Pulse team leading it, but all of the churches that turn up. And it speaks to the intentional nature of God's family, that it breaks down all sorts of barriers. It didn't matter whether you came from a home where mum and dad earn $1 million or you come from a home where mum and dad earn $50,000. You're getting in there, you're having a great time, you're singing about Jesus, you're drawing craft, making craft, you're swimming in the pool, you're doing all of that sort of stuff. And it might be with young people from a culture that you've never experienced. It breaks down intercultural barriers. It speaks really deeply to who Jesus calls us to be as the family of God and embeds that in our little people's hearts that wants to grow them and encourage them and grow into leaders and grow into people that want to work for Jesus and grow into people that are ready to challenge the church about how we engage in ministry with small people.
Amen.
Full credit, you guys. Amazing KCO. It was phenomenal.
Yes.
We're looking forward to seeing you guys back there with a bigger crew next year, Joyce. When is it again?
First weekend of March.
First weekend of March,
Right in
2024.
your diaries. Yep.
There will be save the dates coming out.
Definitely.
But it's going to be absolutely outrageous, and we look forward to seeing not only the people here and the churches that we represent, but heaps more. And let me tell you, I think we had a record turnout, didn't we, Joyce, for this year?
Yeah.
So we're looking to grow even that.
Yeah.
And just
Let's
the
do
feedback
it.
that we've got from 2023 has suggested already at least 2 or 3 of the churches are going to double their footprint in the amount of people that come next year,
Nice.
which only means that KCO is just going to get bigger.
Yep.
We're not
Let's
going to hit the
go.
limits of Wedderburn yet. We've got some space.
Let's go.
So take this as a welcome and an
Yeah.
open invitation that
Yes.
everyone can come to KCO. We'd love to have you there.
Yeah.
There's heaps of stuff happening. Thank you, Gibbo.
That's right. Thanks for having me.
Mate, thank you, Nikki.
Thank you for having me.
Joyce, thank you.
My lost sir, thank you.
What an amazing PULSEcast. Let's jam this thing into a river. If people want to stay in touch with Pulse, they can email us, contact-pulse @newsouthwalesact.uca.org.au, the world's longest email address. Or, probably easier, you can get us on our website, which is pulse.uca.org.au, or even better, you can hit us up on Twitter for old people. No one's here to argue. Or Instagram, or even TikTok.
We got a TikTok.
That's right, @UCA Pulse. That's a great way to keep in touch with hearing about
For
KCO,
sure.
Yeah.
seeing the video from this year's KCO, which was pretty great. We're on YouTube as well, just by the way.
Yep.
UCA Pulse, look it up, you'll see us. There's all sorts of things around that. We would love to hear from you. Tell us about your experience. Yeah, whether you email us or hit us up on socials, send us your photos from KCO. We'd love to know all about that. We would absolutely also love to know what you think about the PULSEcast. We'd love to hear your suggestions. We've got heaps planned, and we'd look forward to having Gibbo and Nikki back in a different scenario, maybe even next year, just to revisit KCO24 to see what that's like. But we're so glad that you can join us. Thank you for being a part of the PULSEcast. Gibbo, Nikki, and Joyce. I've been your host, Molk. This is the PULSEcast. We are the #1 Uniting Church Ministry with Young People podcast, so make sure you get involved. Peace out.
Yay.